misbehave. So, would you like to explain who I am? I'm trying to explain who I am.
You're a bad guy.
Bad guy.
To the core.
Rotten.
Nobody
to the core.
likes you.
Nobody.
You can say that.
You like me for a bit.
No, I like you as a human.
There you go.
I don't like
Yeah.
you as your character.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm sort of ambiguous.
You kind of like me for a bit as well.
As a
At least-
person?
Yeah. No, as a character.
I've remained ambiguous the whole time about you as a person and as a character. Like to just be
Triple cross.
like
That's
to be
you see.
sort of gray.
Like spy. That's
Like to be
just
gray.
a spy.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Super
about your
spy.
costume?
It's made of leather and metal, and yeah, you know, it's shiny and gold.
Do you get a little sweaty in that thing?
I do get a little sweaty.
Yeah.
It's kind of like swamp water around here, the swamp water
Starts
area.
to pool.
Yeah.
Pool in the cavity of your chest.
There's a lot to start with about shipping, because I know a lot of fans were actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys make of that?
She's a slut. I was gonna say something along that line. It's a complete whore. Trick, man.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday night where we will be reviewing and recapping the third episode of Hawkeye on Marvel's Disney Plus. Or Marvel Hawkeye episode 3 on Disney Plus. There you go. That's how it's on. I am joined tonight by my very amazing panel, Script Doctor. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on tonight.
Yeah, of course. Always. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you can find me here with Nina and the lovely ladies discussing various shows and things that are coming out on the internets and theaters. I also have a Twitter handle at ScriptDoctorPhD and a YouTube channel, youtube.com/ScriptDoctor, where I do analysis and reviews of film and television.
Perfect. Script Doctor's links are in the description below, as well as the lovely two ladies over here, Jane and Teresa. Jane, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Happy to be here. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. It's been an interesting day with Teresa playing D&D. It's been a very spicy day because of Teresa. Teresa's very spicy when she plays D&D. It's very weird. It's not like her
today
at
was
all.
epic.
She's shocking. Jane, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me here on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
Yay! The links are in the description. Teresa, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you can find me here on YouTube, Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Also, Teresa2_Martin on Twitter.
Yay! There you go. And again, the links are in the description. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. Before we get started, a couple of things right off the bat. One, please smash the like and share the stream with everybody so that we can, get more people involved here and talk about this show that is Hawkeye. We have interesting ideas about this show. I do anyways. And then the other amazing news is that on Toxic Fem last week, we announced that we're doing a Pinup Spectacular. So if you have not done so, please be sure to sign up for our Pinup Spectacular Pinup poster thingamajig, where you can fold out the pictures and you will see pinup photos of Lorena, Mandy, and myself. There's one of the examples here for Lorena. This is Mandy's, and mine is the Christmassy one. And again, that's brought to you by Midnight's Edge. So tomorrow we'll be talking about this as well on Monday on Toxic Femininity. So yeah, excellent.
So these are like centerfold pinups?
Yes, they're like kind of like centerfold pinups, and then you can unfold them and put them on your wall if you want, or keep them in the book so they're all nice. Whatever you want to do. So there's that. And the link for this is in the description and also in the pinned comment in the comment section. So you can grab that. And lastly, right before, right when we started the show, I noticed, before we started the show, when I created the link, I noticed that Shane G sent a €10 super sticker of a pair jumped up going, #1 fan. So thank you, Shane G. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to highlight that because my StreamYard thingy didn't let me highlight it. So I just wanted to say thank you for that before we get going. So now here we are. Is Tom? Wait, what? Is Tom and his sweet bod in one of those pinups? Okay, so this is a debatable topic here because Mandy said if it was up to her that she would get Tom in a speedo and a pinup speedo, and I was like, if it was up to me, this would never happen. So this is a debate. We don't know if it's going to happen yet or not, but I'm hoping no.
I know the makeup artist that could spray paint like muscles on his body from the same one that did the stuff for 300 for some of the actors there.
Well, I mean, this is supposed to be a drawing. So, I mean, I guess technically Peter Gilmore can draw like Henry Cavill's body and then put Tom's face on it. And then that would be okay. I wouldn't mind seeing that in a Speedo, but that would be weird because it would be Tom and that would give me weird vibes. I don't.
Yeah, that'd be
know.
like seeing your brother in a Speedo.
Exactly. It's just weird to me. It's not going to work.
At least it's not a slingshot hammock Speedo thing. That would be.
Oh my God.
200 Watt Studios, thank you so much for the $2. Says, love the antlers, baby. Wear those in the pinup. Okay, well, I have the Santa hat in the pinup, but I don't know if I'm going to do all my pictures as Christmassy, but one of them is. One of them is. Thank you so much, 200 Watt Studios. All right, so let's get started. The show has commenced. We are going to start talking about the 3rd episode of Hawkeye. I guess let's start like the way we usually do. Jane, what'd you think of the episode?
Oh my God. They just couldn't help themselves. They couldn't help themselves. It seemed like for a little while, they were sort of on the line, keeping it neutral, nothing too jarring in terms of agenda or politics or wokeism and all that. But this episode, yeah. Typical
I didn't
Hollywood.
think it dropped off the map as much as the first 2 episodes. I mean, I thought it was pretty in line with the first 2. I thought the other girl, Echo,
they had an infant.
Yeah.
Just take out this boy who is 4 times her size.
That's the one, right? Like, okay, so that's the one I had a problem with Echo, or like her. I think that's the name of the character, right? That her character development wasn't going well for me because I was like, what? Excuse me? Like she's deaf and she's a little girl, and then she can keep up with these guys. But we're gonna get into that. So yeah, I agree with that because most of the stuff I was seeing though, like online, was talking about Kate's character, and I didn't think anything too crazy happened with her. I thought that was in line with what they had already set up, kind of thing.
She was okay. It's just that what they did with Echo, I felt was unfair to the character. I'm not that familiar with her, but I am a little bit. And from what I understand, she's actually a really cool character in the comics. And here, it just didn't quite do her justice because they turned her into something, I don't know, like this overpowered Mary Sue type character. For no reason.
How about you, Teresa? What'd you think of the episode?
Well, we moved from 3 Padmes to 6 Padmes and getting dangerously close to having me completely lose the will to live.
Oh no, really? Already?
Yeah.
We're only on the 3rd episode.
Yeah. Well, I just got to go with how I'm feeling, and after about 5 minutes, I wanted to start crying, Anakin. So I think it's getting into that territory. We're just kill me now, please, dear God, make it stop.
Okay, all right. Well, that's unfortunate. What about you, Script Doctor? What'd you think?
I'm on a side with Jane. I think they kind of botched up Echo. I don't think they communicated effectively how she is kind of she has kind of like a mutant power similar to Taskmaster. She can replicate some moves fairly well that she sees. But no worries. But yeah, I think it was a bad choice to make when she's like, I guess 6 or 7, fight that big kid that's twice her size in the first part. I think it's just been someone who was around her same size, but also very good at what he did as well, so that you could buy the balance part. Because I mean, it's interesting that that she has this prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
But it definitely could give you a nice little anchor if it has some extra weight to it. But it doesn't seem like she uses it to her advantage all that much in her combat, except for that one scene after they montage out, she kicks the guy in the junk with it with her prosthetic leg.
But I'm trying to find it. There it is.
Yeah, this kid is like about 8 inches taller than her and at least 30 pounds, and that goes a long way when you're under the age of 12.
Yeah. See, the thing that I also had a problem with was that at the beginning, like when she was talking to her dad here, right? So we're told, like, basically she's a deaf girl. She's she's having a hard time communicating in her school because it, like, her regular school, she goes to a that's a great shot right there.
Pay attention.
She's going, pay attention. She's going to regular school with regular kids, and she doesn't seem to be able to quite keep up with everybody else because, she's deaf and she's having a hard time, and she wants to kind of like go to like the deaf school. And her dad is telling her that, I'm sorry, I couldn't afford it, kind of thing. And they have this cute conversation where they're talking about dragons, and I guess those are that I'm guessing those have to do with her character in the comics, that it has some sort of something to do with dragons, because I think that they're just planting the seeds here. But then fast forward, because he goes like, you're stronger and you're whatever, like you're just gonna have to like live with these two worlds, like, which is basically her being deaf and like the normal people, like normal hearing people, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to like move on. And then later, like, immediately after, we see her signed up for this other class, which is this class here with this boy, and we see the boy, quite easily take out this other boy. And this is not a special like deaf class or anything. So here we see that she is, part of another normal class. So I don't understand how she goes from like having a difficult time learning in school to being like the best
ever
student in her class, where she's having a hard time understanding the teacher anyway. So like, I don't really understand how she became this good.
Well, she's very smart, regardless of her inability to hear what's going on with the teachers. So like the whole workbook and her finishing the assignment, that was like out of intuition, which it doesn't really strike me as kind of like a Mary Sue-ism part. It's the combat scenes kind of walks the line on that for her.
That's what I think too, because I'm fine with the other one, because she's like struggling to learn, and you understand that, like,
well, she's struggling to understand so she can learn. And
exactly,
that was this beautiful, I mean, the scene with her dad and her, I thought was actually a really beautiful scene, because
I did too.
You can see the affection, and you can see that he's saying, oh, we can't afford it, but at the same time he's also saying, if you live between these two worlds, you'll become a stronger person, as opposed to being dependent on the deaf school. Like, now you'll be able to live in this world while still being able, to have this what others would perceive a disadvantage, but she can make it her own advantage, because if she's not hearing anything, then she has to rely on the other senses to compensate for that. And the father, I mean, this actor, I've seen him in a bunch of other stuff. He's always a delight to watch. I really liked him in this role, and I also like the reveal of who he is later on in the montage as well. I thought that was kind of neat.
Wait, I don't think I saw that part. That was a montage?
Yeah, there's a montage, like right before his spoilers, untimely demise.
Oh.
You understand that he's actually, part of a criminal organization.
Right. That's okay. That's what you meant. I thought
Yes.
like you meant in the end. Like never mind.
No, it's okay. That's all right.
He came back as an enemy or something, and I'm like, wait, I thought he died. I'm like, yeah, spoiler alert, he dies.
Yes, and that's what makes Echo bitter.
Yeah, that's what makes her a total weirdo. What do we like better in terms of setup, you guys? Because I'm playing around with this. Do you guys like this setup better, or the one that?
Fun.
like the new one, this one?
Well, that does make the image on the screen a lot larger. So depends on what does the chat say.
Yeah, what's the chat like? What do you guys like better? Do you guys this one better, or classic like this one here? Let me know. 1 for classic, 2 for new. But yeah, I like this scene a lot too, because I thought it was a really sweet scene. Again, talking about fathers. This show has been highlighting fathers a lot, because I mean Jeremy Renner's character is a good father as well. So like I like that this series is kind of like highlighting good fathers and that kind of thing. Even though he's not a good person
He's
per
a
se,
crime lord.
yeah, he's a crime lord, but he's still a good dad. You can be a good dad.
But that's what I didn't understand about her being so upset. I mean, it's like being a part of the mafia. You understand what they do for a living, and you understand there are consequences for that.
Yep.
So why are you mad? Why are you on a rampage?
I mean, you're still mad that some sort of vigilante came and destroyed your family business.
But that's what happens. That's a part of the.
I mean,
that's
one of the. I think that's one of the consequences of it. That is within, I guess, the fictional realm of organized crime is not something to be considered, because we're the top heads of the food chain. We shouldn't be. We should be here forever. This is a generational thing. My father started this, my mother started this, and they passed it to me, and I'll pass it to you.
You broke my heart.
A little bit of what is it? Vanity and hubris. Yeah.
Yeah. But yet then so she gets into it with this kid right here.
The kid's the size of the teacher. Look at him.
He's huge. He's definitely a bigger kid. I mean, they have like bigger kids in this class too. Like these kids were big. I mean, she's the smallest one.
Yeah, and I've taken martial arts class. You have to. It takes a while before you learn how to use your opponent's weight against them, because you get thrown around a lot.
But also notice that she's a white belt, you guys. I mean, this is weird.
She's just starting. Yeah,
she's just starting. She's a white belt. You don't usually see white belts go up against yellow belts, or because usually
not unless it's an exam.
Yeah, exactly. But usually they're in like tiers. So, but they also usually fight each other, like the same level fights the same level,
And they didn't give her any development the way they did with Kate. I mean, we don't see her dad training her. We don't see her practicing. They could have included a short little scene of her in her room, even practicing and breaking something by accident to show how strong she is. We don't get anything but this. This is how I introduced her.
And this is what I had a problem with, Jane. Exactly what you're saying, because we don't even see her training with this guy, right? Like, I mean, if this guy
would never see that
training her, I know exactly. But at least if we saw her training with him or the dad or someone, then we would know. Okay, well, she has some experience. They've just kind of like stuck her in the white belt category because of the, I don't know. Because you're starting out, you're just gonna have to be white belt. You work your way up, right?
Yeah, it's really weird. What I would call this is an example of someone taking one of the screenwriting and storytelling rules of start late and finish early a little bit too far. I think this scene starts a little bit too late, but it finishes at the right time. It just starts a little bit too late. I think it would have been great if, instead of her sitting in bed having her dad talk to her about this stuff, maybe she was boxing and he was holding one glove and then signing with her in between. Like she'd do a hit and then she'd stop and she'd say something, and then the dad would like take a couple of punches to block, and then he would respond with an answer, and then maybe they would put their stuff down and be like, listen, we're going to stop for a second, we're going to talk about this, and then you kind of establish that this is something that they kind of do together, and she's not just lying in bed like a bedtime story thing. But I also get why they did presented that scene that way. They didn't want to telegraph too much of this kid's skills or whatever. But it's tricky when you're dealing with montages that are also a flashback. So I would say this one just required a little bit more planning and storyboarding and figuring out the narrative before you actually get to this, because you have to also realize that as a creator, sometimes when we're writing something, we forget that the audience isn't coming at this with the same knowledge that we had writing it. So you have to realize and establish, all right, well, what do I know that the audience doesn't know, and how can I convey that effectively so that they will believe the following information that I'm going to present to them? And I think that's been one of the biggest flaws across all of the Disney Plus Marvel shows.
And those are very good points, and I agree with all of them. Justin Proper says, "I want more wheelchair Miguel." Wrong show, bro. This is not Cobra Kai.
December 31st.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a little bit early.
Although this may seem like Cobra Kai, it is not. This is Brooklyn Karate Academy, where Echo trained, and there she is. She's a little girl hanging out with her dad
and her uncle. I wonder if that's Mr. D'Onofrio.
I wonder. So then she fights this kid who's like, yeah, okay, let me.
He's like, you want me to fight this little kid? I mean, he's surprised by it too, but
he's surprised because he's like, wait, I'm a yellow belt and I'm way bigger than her. You really want me to fight her? And the guy's like, yeah, of course, because you're gonna get beat. This is a Disney Plus show.
She's gonna throw you down, bro.
Get ready for an ass kicking.
And then he immediately, like, it wasn't even like one scene where she would struggle and then like fall down or whatever, get up and then try again. It was like an immediate, like, she watched his footing and realized how he did it to the other kid, and then through observation, she knew how to do it. Which makes no sense, because in karate and in martial arts, you don't just learn by watching, you also learn by practicing, because it all has to do with like body weight and throwing someone, the actual skill to be able to do it.
But that's supposed to be her. That's also supposed to be her kind of like mutant power within the books, is that she's got a similar ability to Taskmaster, who can just by watching your movement can understand how you fight and then fight just like that. However, the cost of learning that is losing a little bit of your long-term memory. So some of your past you forget, and you start losing a piece of yourself.
Yeah. But
I don't know if we
have
had
the
that
power, though.
Yeah.
Even if she could, understand his movements and how they worked and mimic them, that doesn't mean she would still have the power to destroy him, which is what she did.
Yeah, if anything, if like he just fell down and then he bounced back up and was like, "Wow, that was impressive," that would be a bit more. But like he's like out for the count, it looks like here.
Yeah, he's gone. The other thing that she did do, and the other focal point, was her other. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Well, that's a prosthetic leg.
Handicap. Yeah, because she's got a prosthetic leg. So she's deaf and she's got a prosthetic. So she's a double minority figure. She's also, I believe she's Native Indian.
Yeah.
So Native American. So triple.
Yay. So now they can get an Emmy. They'll be eligible.
She's got it all.
2 more degrees and she'll be the most unique person in the world.
Yeah, so she was watching him and his footwork where he was beating up the little kid, the other kid, and then she learned, and then she did it, and so then this dude was like, yeah, great job beating that kid up, and then her uncle gives her approval and blah blah blah. There's that scene where she beats him. Oh no, that was before. So before he was like, yeah, you could do it. Like, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because you're the best.
Bestest
ever. And then we go from like immediately from this to this, where, she's now grown up and fighting real men in the ring, who still apparently think nothing of her because she's got the prosthetic, because, you see the guy looking down on her leg and being like, oh, her leg. And she's showing the observation of how he's got a weak arm because I guess he's hurt or he's injured. So she uses the arm to basically like knock him out, or like, put him to the ground. And she does, and she's just like the greatest ever. What did you guys think of that scene? Like, did you think that was another? I mean,
how many men's asses can one woman kick in 5 minutes? It's like, oh my gosh.
If the woman
I'm
is
ready
5'7" and 140 pounds, she can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, well, no, but you know what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like from what we're seeing in the show, it's like, hi, here she is. Hey, watch her kick this boy's ass. Now let's watch her kick someone else's ass. One of these days, I want one of these men to just kick their ass. Sorry.
I mean, they could just have her fight another woman, and they don't want to do that either. And also, the use of the prosthetic to me was unfair. Like, why would you use that in a fight? And if you're on the other side, why would you go along with that? Because
Yeah, that's a
I agree with
titanium
that.
prosthetic.
metal.
I agree with that because she kicked him with the prosthetic. He's like,
And he's out. And he's
out.
around her size too, as well. That's the other part too. The actor, the stunt guy, is maybe a couple inches taller than her.
I'm trying to see if I can get that. Like, she kicks him with her leg, like, and he's like, "Ow!" Because you're getting kicked with metal. It's gonna hurt double extra.
Oh yeah.
Like, and so he's out, and then she's like, "Yeah, I see you, bitch." So yeah, I thought it was a cheap move, but I guess maybe it also shows that she's not quite. What's the word I'm looking for here? Like, she's not the most
Honorable?
moral character. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not the most honorable person. So she even though she has a skill, she is fighting dirty as well. Like, she'll use her handicap to her advantage.
Might as well. I mean, she probably. I mean, you could always. If I was a writer, I'd lean into that as part of like her ability to exploit other people's perceptions of her. Is basically.
But these are her friends. Why not have her do that on some stranger who tries to mug her or something?
That would be better, yeah. But I mean, we see it with her fashion. She doesn't really keep her prosthetic leg exposed, so that would then be a surprise to the guy. Well, like she kicks him, and he like she kicks him in the hip, and it like shatters his hip, and he just drops, and then she just raises up her cuff of her foot, and realizes it's a steel leg. And then he's like shocked. That could have been a fun little thing to do.
That could have been.
Why
I think
don't
it
we
would have
get
been
paid to
better.
write this?
Sorry, go ahead. Julian, what'd you say?
I was just like, why don't the fans get paid to write it? Just
I know.
Well, I've worked with some people that are fans. They like to lean into the contemporary or the derivative as opposed to like you give them like, hey, let's put this great character, keep them as they are, but we'll put them in this situation. You'll get a lot of them saying, no, I don't want to see them do that. It's like, but they're still the same character. I'm not compromising their values. I'm not compromising their integrity. I'm just trying to give the audience something they've never seen before. Like when you see the new issue of that comic book you don't know what's going to be in that issue, but you end up loving it because it showed you something new. That's a hard thing for a lot of diehard fans to get over. And when they do get over it, they end up becoming creatives and writers and so forth.
Lil Poet Boy here saying Echo eventually does join the Avengers as Ronin in the comics. I'm the biggest Echo fanboy there is. Wow.
Cool.
So
nice.
did you like her depiction in this show so far? What did you think of that? So after the scene where she kicks that guy's butt, she drives to where the dad works, and immediately we see Ronin in there causing chaos and killing everybody. So, and she sees it and she's like, oh my God, he's killing my people. And then she goes into the office, and lo and behold, the dad is on the ground and telling her to leave. And there's like this whole death scene. Pretty emotional, I guess. I didn't get too emotional about it. Did you guys feel emotions in this?
Not enough. I think I needed more with the dad.
I think I needed more with the dad too. I was like, I mean, it started out really good. I think it would have been better if he had trained her a little bit, so that we can see why she was able to kick so much ass as a child. Maybe
I would have loved a scene where the teacher's speaking to him at like a PTA meeting saying, your daughter's really smart. We don't need her in like the second grade. Let's put her to the 4th or 5th. And he could be like, well, I think she should be with her own age and that type of stuff. Yeah, like, something that's considerate. It's like she's already, deaf, and she's already not able to associate with friends. And more, why would I want to put her in a position where she'd be more within a shell or more reserved?
Yeah, I agree. Like, we just needed more. We needed more. If they wanted this scene to be like more emotional and more impactful, you just need a little bit more than the first 5 minutes. And besides, the first 5 minutes was like her beating up that kid. So I was like,
yeah.
I don't really like. Okay, we need more stuff with the dad if you want us to feel something for her here.
Agreed.
But again, it's understandable though now that she has a beef with Ronin specifically because Ronin killed her father.
Yes.
So now the episode starts. So here we go with the episode tied up. Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, and the other girl, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, hanging out with the tracksuit mafia. I still think that name is funny. The characters are a little bit humorous. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a little bit. I don't know. I think it's funny. The tracksuit mafia.
I think the tracksuit mafia is awesome. And when they
Well,
were
I mean,
tossing
they're funny.
cocktails, they were a barrel of laughs. I really think they're awesome.
They're very funny, but I can't buy them as an intimidating force within New York. Like unless this is sheer numbers, because they're clearly not intelligent.
Well, intelligent people throwing Molotov cocktails can be very dangerous.
That is very true. That is very true. But again, they also got hit in the face by the same Molotov cocktail they threw.
Oh my God, that's true. Kate Bishop is manspreading.
I mean, they have that one scene where the dude's asking Kate Bishop advice about his girlfriend. I'm like, that's... yeah.
You guys didn't like that?
Was pain.
That was
pain.
I thought it was a little funny. Like it wasn't like the worst. I still think
wasn't
the
the worst.
dialogue
It was
in
just...
this show is like way improved over Loki. Like I feel like the dialogue and everything so far for me has been a little bit better than Loki. Maybe it's this girl. Like I don't quite know what it is, but the girl Loki, I can't stand her.
The girl Loki was arrogant and unjustly confident, and didn't get any consequences for that. This one here, she's arrogant and confident, but she keeps on getting stepped back with every action she makes. Like her attempt to rescue him was like, okay, that's arrogance and confidence, but she falls through the skylight and now she's captured. It's like, okay, so she really is. It's a false sense of arrogance and confidence. And on top of that, Hawkeye is kind of making fun of her a little bit for that. And we're seeing how, and also the other part too is like she's looking at him as an idol and a role model, and he doesn't believe himself as a role model, but he's reluctantly helping her because he feels responsible, for the situation she's in, because as foolish as it was for her to put on the costume, and which they justifiably explained she had no idea what that costume was or what it meant or anything. She just didn't want to be discovered at this place. Mm-hmm. And now he's like, well, now she's going to be an unwitting victim of my own, dark period of life. And I, as a hero, as a spy, as a responsible adult, cannot let this little girl die because of something I did. And I like that dynamic in relationship. I like the fact that he's got the suit, he's secured somewhere. Now he's just trying to make sure that no one goes after this girl thinking it's him, so that she can go back to normal and he can go back to his family. I think those are very clear goals and great characters.
Exactly.
And that's the show's only saving grace.
Yeah,
that's what they're aiming for.
I think so far they've got a better show so far than Loki and possibly even
Loki was
WandaVision.
trash though. Like that was so bad from beginning to end.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, like if we're comparing like Disney Plus shows about two different, Avengers
yeah, this is the best
Loki
one. Loki
wasn't an Avenger, but
yeah.
So far I feel like this one has been. This is a step up because. Again, like I really did enjoy WandaVision, especially the beginning of it. But I think WandaVision had a huge drop off the last couple of episodes.
It did not stick the landing. Yeah,
it didn't stick the landing. This one so far has been pretty steady going. Like with regards to like okay, Echo, we'll leave that alone because that was fucking bullshit.
They mishandled that, I would say.
Yeah, they mishandled that. But other than that, so far it's been better. And again, I think this girl. I don't know. You can give it maybe chop it up to her acting, to her. Maybe it's because she hasn't said anything online because I haven't seen her say anything online versus the other lady, like the Loki lady who had made comments about the costume and everything like that.
But I hadn't even seen any comments from her and I still couldn't stand her.
Yeah, she had zero charisma.
Her attitude. But this
girl, the Loki lady or this girl?
The Loki lady.
Oh, okay.
But this
Yeah, the
girl,
only
I
comment
think
she
part
made
of
was
it
like
is that she's young. She's practically a child, and I think that may
they're
be
treating her
part of
like
it.
that too, which I think is useful to the story.
Yes, I agree. I think so. And I don't know. She seems kind of likable. And maybe the other thing is maybe it's her style. Like the other thing that I like about her is like so far she still has like the pretty long black hair, whereas in like the other Loki lady was like super short hair and like kind of like looked very boyish. This girl still looks very much feminine. Like I feel
Even though
like.
they put her in a suit last seem does recognized as a girl. She doesn't seem to be in denial of being a woman.
Yes, exactly. I
Aside
feel
from
like
the
she's still
suit
very
fashion choice.
feminine, and I like that. I like that about the show because I feel like I don't know, maybe as I don't want to be too optimistic because we're still talking about Disney here and we're still talking about Marvel, but I feel like maybe they're listening a little bit to the fans. Like they're like, okay, maybe we won't like totally make her into a, butch lesbian. I don't know.
I mean, it's a little bit tricky to tell because this was in production last year. So, I mean,
Mm.
there wasn't much chatter going on with the other shows because they hadn't been released yet. So this one could have just been under the own director and the own writer team under their own auspices saying, like, yeah, we're just going to try and have this fun, make it a Christmas family movie type of thing and not make it too, I guess, agenda driven. At least
Yeah, it's
in the same
so
level
far it
as with the
seems
other
a little
shows.
bit less agenda driven than, well, especially Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh
My
well.
God,
Yeah,
that thing
that
was
was
a
primarily
Yeah, that was
nightmare.
10 Padmes right away. Well, I think you're right, Nina, about the actress's charisma and the fact that the relationship with Hawkeye, it's purely a father-daughter kind of a situation, and that she is in trouble because she got on that suit and all that. That so far is appealing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not changing my life and making me go, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But if I were to say out of all the female characters that we've seen, the new ones especially, she's probably the one you least want to punch in the face.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's the least like the person I want to slap the least. I 100% agree. Lugnuts 6, thank you so much for the $5. Says to the three charming, dreamy heartlights, Nina, Jane, and Miss Muses. Wait, he said Mrs. Muses. She's a miss.
Oh, didn't I
keep-
tell you? Oh no,
Oh.
I'm teasing.
Oh, really?
I am
Did you
still
get
a
married?
miss. I'll let you know when I get married. Okay. Yeah.
Keep
I'll send you
shining your
some cake.
lights of love through the universe. It sends us 3 hearts and howdy to Script Doctor.
Well, howdy, Lugnuts.
Thank you so much, Lugnuts. Really appreciate that super chat. Always so nice. Lugnuts is so nice. And we got Thomas Gilkey here. What's going on, Thomas?
Hey.
Good to see you, man. I feel like Hawkeye's been holding down his own character too so far, a little bit more than Loki was, for example, because I feel like for example, Loki, we never got to see any magic. Like he barely did any of his powers.
He brought us that tablecloth.
Yeah.
Right, that happened. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I keep going, thank you, Script Doctor, for bringing this to my attention. Joker Voice sent a member chat. Thank you so much for that. Joker Voice says, I find myself enjoying elements of this show. That's how I am. That's where I am with it too. I found myself enjoying some elements of it, and I don't feel bad about that. I think that some of it was really good.
Well, like you said, the
was entertaining.
father-child aspect of it is great. They have been treating fathers well. But I feel like they turned a corner with Echo, and my fear is that they're going to do the same thing with Kate by the end. Yeah, she's pretty and sort of light and feminine right now. But by the end, when she's super empowered, are we going to see the hair change? And
I know. I'm
you know,
waiting
it's
for
like-
that, man.
She's
I'm
gonna
waiting
get
for the
Uncle
half
Mandarin.
shave. Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, she's
You
gonna
just-
go to the same spa that Captain Marvel went to.
No, it'd just be
Right.
weird. Like she knocks on his farm door and she's got the haircut. She's like, "I just asked for the Clinton Barton," and and he's just like, "You are crazy."
Oh my God, Justin Proper's still on the Cobra Kai thing. Jeremy Renner for Cobra Kai season 5.
As who?
Yeah, Justin,
A parent.
you came too far back from your time machine from the future. We're not yet in January 1st.
Are you drunk, Justin? Jesus Christ.
There's a meteorite coming. We may not make it there.
Superstar. Oh, that's
Oh, we'll be
right. Okay,
fine.
you know what? That I'm Justin. I'm jealous of your time machine. He gets to see Cobra Kai and we don't, because we're gonna be blown up with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, see, I was just gonna hit on this. The reason I was I'm mentioning Loki is because HVP says Jeremy Renner got more screen time in this episode, and that's one of the things I enjoyed about this episode was that there was quite a bit here when they start to get out of this situation that they're in, where he does Hawkeye stuff. He starts shooting people, he's using his arrows, he's doing his Hawkeye thing, there he is, like, doing his Hawkeye thing. He frees her.
Yeah, he gets out of the tape and she's like, "How did you do that?" And it's like, "Good." She doesn't know.
Yeah, and then he runs up the stairs, and then he grabs his bow and arrow, and then he uses it to free her, and she doesn't just like randomly like somehow learn how to like do that, because I feel like in other shows she would have just gotten out of it by herself, not like.
No, she's chewing it with her teeth. She's struggling. She's freaking out. It's great.
She was trying to get out for a while, and she couldn't do it. And then
it's like when Luke Skywalker gets pushed down by those two wanted men in the bar, and Obi-Wan comes in with a lightsaber and chops off their arms.
Yeah. Joker voice, thank you so much for the 5, says the scenes with Clint interacting with his kids are some of the best elements of the show. Haley, I have enjoyed her charm and comedic timing. I have too, and I agree with you. I think that this show has had a little bit more. They've developed a little bit more of what we've been asking for, like just very classic stuff. Spending time with family, like fathers aren't all evil. I don't know, just different things like that. I really have been enjoying those kind of things about the show. She's still a little bit too kick-ass for me.
This scene bothered me, the sweeping around the pipe.
Okay, let's talk about this because I've heard people complaining about this. I didn't have too big of a problem with it. I don't know how the physics of it works.
No, I'm perfectly fine with the action. It's the fact that the guy that she's sweeping over is just standing still waiting for it to happen. Like he should be looking somewhere else, or be maybe have Hawkeye like in a chokehold or something, and she sweeps around and gets him underneath, and then he falls, and Hawkeye can cup up and beat him down. Because this is the biggest issue again with modern stunt guys, where they don't have a whole lot of time to prep everything, so they'll literally just say, "Okay, this is what the hero is going to do." Hey, Demanjanai. This is what the hero is going to do. You stand there, and she's going to do it, and it's like, well, this is a scene with multiple men going after both people. There should be some active, commotion going on here. So, I mean, if I was like the script supervisor or assistant AD, I'd be like, okay, great. Haley, you're going to swing around the loop. You're going to trip that guy. That guy who's being tripped, we're going to actually have you put Hawkeye in a chokehold from behind and then justify why she's able to do that. And then when you go down, Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, just beat the crap out of him. And that's how you make it believable. Because like right now we don't know who this guy is. He's just like, there he is in the middle there, getting back up to his feet. And for some reason Haley is running parallel to him and then sweeps around the pipe.
He could have just basically hopped jumped over her foot. Yeah,
it's anyone have a skip it when they were growing up? Remember the skip-its?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
So, I mean, I think that's a fault on, maybe the stunt choreography and direction, because, again, that could have been a really cool moment where Hawkeye, he uses his bow, takes out one guy, and then the one dude he was not paying attention to gets lucky and behind him, and now Haley can come in and, provide some support and give you that cool little set move here. But they just decided to do the lazy take, which is, no, let's just have the guy stand perfectly still and allow her to do this move on him.
Exactly.
What did you think of this, Jane and Teresa?
Yeah, it felt completely unrealistic. They handed her that win, and that's not what we want to see. I don't feel like my issue is that they always seem to go back to that, to making these characters magic instead of allowing them to be human. And it's just unnecessary to do that just in the name of showing that this girl is powerful. She can easily, beat these guys in a most ridiculous move possible. It's just, I don't know.
I had a
I'm
problem
over
with
it. It's
this line
unnecessary.
when she was like, when she did that thing, and then like she's like, I was doing fine. It's like, girl, he let you out of those that tape. Like,
Yeah,
no.
Jane said it. Yeah, Jane said it all just right there. They can keep her character development, maybe even have her arse handed to her a bit, and still she could come across as a quote unquote strong character.
I mean, I think this line was supposed to be a joke, but it did not really land.
It didn't land. It didn't land for me. I agree. I think it was supposed to be a joke, but I was like, it was like roll my eye kind of joke. I was like, ugh, like stop trying so hard. Like, man. Justin Proper, thank you so much for the $2. Says my time machine only goes back 24 hours. Clank CK22.
Well, he yeah.
No comment, Teresa.
I was thinking of something cute. Why not? Why not? Let's just do it. I love Cobra Kai.
Oh, I love Cobra Kai too. It's great.
Was Jeremy Renner like William Zabka's long lost brother?
That's funny. Okay, so then they go to. Okay, this part was kind of funny to me too. They go to this place, like the parking lot, to get cars. She's like, "Let's get this car," and he's like, "That thing's beautiful. We're not like."
They're not breaking a Charger.
We're not breaking into that. So he goes and starts breaking into this one. Again, I like this part because they're showing that he's sparking the car, like he's like doing the
hot wiring it. Yeah,
the hot wiring it. Yeah, the hot wiring of the car is being done by the dude that's like, been a ninja forever. Like she's not like, okay, let me hot wire the car because I know how to do everything. Like, it's just like, okay.
Well, he's hot wiring it. He's also deaf because his hearing aid's broken.
Yes, at this point, the hearing aid has been broken in the fight, by the way, by Echo. She like stepped on it, like it fell out of his ear, and she stepped on it to like make sure it's broken. So he's basically deaf right now. And so she this whole scene was kind of funny.
Well, yeah, he wants her to drive, and she's like, I don't know how to drive.
yeah, like I like that too. And she's like, I don't know how to drive. Like, it's just like this whole thing was there. What? I don't know how to drive. Come over here. Like it was just I thought the scene was good, and I liked the fact that he was driving the car. At first, I was like, I wanted him to be not driving the car because I wanted him to be the one shooting the arrows and things like that. But
then we see what they do with the car.
I think it works better though that he ended up driving. So, what did you think, Teresa? What did you think of that?
Oh yeah, and those are the parts of the father-daughter dynamic they were trying to develop here that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny too. She's 22 and she doesn't know how to drive a car.
She lives in New York.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. And
she
not only does she live in New York, but even when she's not in New York and she's a rich little brat, she probably has a driver for her.
She's got a driver.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's going on. What about you, Jane? Did you like the scene?
It was okay. I think it went on a little too long.
It did.
Like the whole thing, like the whole car scene.
Yeah.
The sequence, they could have cut like 3 minutes out of it.
I didn't mind it. I like it because it was like fun.
It was cute.
I'm like, it was fun. It was like, okay, it was action. It's fun. It's like I like the music with like the remix of like which one was it? Was it Jingle Bells or I don't know which.
There's a couple of Christmas songs they remixed in there.
They had like the Home Alone song in there.
I think it was the Home Alone song. There was a couple of Christmas songs, and I really like that. Naked Fame says so Echo is evil. I'm confused. She is right now. I'm not sure if I would call her evil, but she's definitely got a vendetta. She definitely has a vendetta against Ronin, and she is a crime. I don't know if I would say boss because she has a boss over, which we think maybe could be Kingpin, but I don't. like she's not a good character. So she's would you call her like, I don't know, would you guys call her an anti-hero?
I wouldn't call her necessarily a hero yet. I mean, she's on a mission for revenge. Jeremy Renner's character has said that Ronin is dead and he was killed by Black Widow. So Black Widow's gone, which means that she has no means to enact. She has no one to enact her revenge out on. And so now she's just like a mob boss leader at this point. She's mid-tier. She's just a distraction from the larger story at hand with regards to Kate Bishop's thing going on. Right now, from Jeremy Renner's perspective, the only thing he has to do is convince the tracksuit mafia that Ronin is dead and to leave this poor girl alone.
I actually did really like that line too that they had when earlier in this scene where they were talking and Echo and him finally started to talk. It was in this scene where he admitted that's when she observes that he's deaf. By the way, she tries to talk to him in sign language. He doesn't know sign language.
He's still learning it, yeah.
He's still learning it. And I like this scene because she asked him, like, this was funny. More cookie, please, thank you. I like this scene because when he said like what happened to Ronin and how like Black Widow took him out, I thought that was really sweet. Like I thought that was a really sweet kind of thing again because it shows that Black Widow obviously didn't kill Ronin, but
she Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader him.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Oh,
exactly.
Yes,
so I like that. I thought that was cool that they kind of like that was a nod of the I think it was a nod to the whole Luke Skywalker thing.
Radio Man makes a good point though. Why didn't she believe him? That made no sense. She had no reason not to believe him. And I hate when they do that in movies.
Me too.
Where it's like, no, I don't believe you. But why? Based on what? It didn't make any sense. Because what he said, like you said, it on a certain level, it was absolutely true. And he came across as believable. So why didn't you believe him?
I mean, here's the other part too. I think the fact of the matter is they wrote a really good explanation for him to say to Echo why Ronin's not there, but they didn't write. But the thing is, they used it too early. They should have had more of an apprehension, something to at least allow for doubt to foster, because the one thing you really want, especially between two characters, is conflict between them.
Right.
And right now we're getting a convoluted conflict, which is like he gives a justifiable answer. Everybody kind of believes him, but Echo refuses to for story reasons because her character has to still be after him. And that's not a great reason. There needs to be something else there, which is and they left that out. They didn't think of it and they didn't present it to us.
Right. And that's the thing, because I guess that's like me making up my own story in my brain, which is not my job. But when the reason that I gave for myself when he's like, when she said, I don't believe you, was because like the fact that like that character was still around, like they saw Ronin's outfit, which was obviously this girl, right? Like, and she was like, I dressed up and whatever. Like, I just think that she's not believing that story. She's like, I don't believe this shit. Like, I don't think that this is the truth.
Yeah, she should be more convinced. Like, how can you prove to me that this girl hasn't been Ronin the entire time?
Exactly.
How do I know you're not saying anything you can, so I'll let you go? Like, those types of questions. Put them in hard places to get them out, so then you can justify the escape and the fleeing and all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, what's with the resting bitch face? My gosh.
She definitely does have that, which is fine because
fine
again,
for a villain character.
Yeah. That's fine for a villain character. I'm fine with that. When they're trying to make it so that, it's supposed to be a good character like Lady Loki and how she was supposed to be like, good and kind and, she's just so misunderstood and mischievous. And she's got a bit like resting bitch face the entire time. That doesn't work out for me quite well.
Okay.
That I think has to do with the fact there's not really enough people in the industry that know how to allow a woman to have that badass look on her.
Yes.
Isn't trying to be masculine, because a masculine stone cold face on a man is just that. But when a woman tries to do it, it conveys a different a different position for them, which is there's just different facial orientations, and again, women have more prettier eyes than men most cases. So when you have a flat expression on there and a pretty eyes, you kind of have like a bit more deception going on. So you got to kind of have to work with that a little bit more. And I don't think there's enough people that know how to do that yet. Maybe Tyra Banks has the answer because she knows how to really evoke a lot of different emotions with her face, but
that's
keep
true.
Those secrets to herself. Sure. I think,
or it could just be I'm a petty woman.
Naked Fame says, "What episode do you think Kate will go deaf and lose a leg?" I don't think that's going to happen.
Gosh,
I think she's going to be the
20
bestest
years
ever. I think she's going to be like the bestest fighter ever, the bestest Hawkeye ever. I don't think that that's going to happen to her. So then, so this is that was a scene where she's still trying to figure that out. She's reliving that situation where she killed her dad. Remembering where Ronin killed her dad. So this is that's when we start this whole fight. You saw some of this in the trailer. A lot of this was shown in the trailer. She starts using his trick arrows because he's already used all his arrows in the inside of the building. So one of them was this blobby one, which I was like, what the hell is
the putty arrow? Yeah,
the putty arrow. Like that didn't make any sense. It was
everything was
silly.
Purple conventionally.
Yeah, that's Hawkeye's color. But he's like saying use the putty arrow on the wheels, but she'd already fired it at the windshield.
Yeah. And then so he starts driving backwards. She's shooting stuff. She blows up that car. She shoots that other one.
They drive over the inflatable Santa.
Yeah, and then it like bounced back up. I like that. Yeah. I like that scene.
Yeah.
They had the plunger arrow, which she was like, "What the hell is that plunger arrow for?" I was like, what
that's a good setup, though. That was a good setup for a little bit.
That was a good setup. Because I was like, "What the hell is that for? Like, why would you have a plunger? Like, is that something to like stick to a windshield and try and like save yourself? Like, that's the only thing I could think of, right?" Mm-hmm. And then what happens? And then she gets her bow out of the other car because they have her bow still. She wants it back, so she reaches for it, and then she fires a gas thing in that car, which is also purple. Then they stop right before they're about to hit the rest of the traffic, which was nice and heroic of them because they didn't get into a massive car accident. And this chick's like, oh my god, can you imagine seeing that? That's crazy.
I'm glad we're going to Queens.
Yeah, right. So then they get out of the car. This part I didn't get. Is this some sort of like Hank Pym?
That was the new trick arrow that they had. I thought that was kind of funny. And also a little bit unexpected. It's like, okay, so he says, you shoot a parabolic bow towards the car. And then he waits for timing. He pulls out the Pym arrow, and it's blue. And if you know anything from Ant-Man, blue makes things bigger, and red makes things smaller.
Right. Joker voices the Pym tech arrow was lame, in my opinion. See, I didn't mind it. I thought it was creative.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was creative, and I liked that they were working together. I liked that, they both shot the arrows. They both had to work together in order to make this happen.
I'm just surprised that when he hit the arrow with the Pym arrow, it didn't take the arrow she shot off course. Because physics. But I mean, it for the set piece that it was, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief for that because it was a good payoff. And
I was just thinking because of the weight, it would fall straight down.
Yeah, it would have to be like so instant that the size of the arrow hitting it couldn't affect the gravity, the force of gravity and the weight that's on the arrow. So I'm willing to suspend my disbelief to a point. So this makes sense. And I like the fact that the arrow itself did not destroy, obliterate the two people in that car. They just
I like that too. And a Joker voice adds that he just didn't like Ant-Man. Well, then that's just your problem, isn't it?
That's
Joker
fine.
Voice.
I dug Ant-Man more than I was expecting.
I love Ant-Man because Ant-Man was a big surprise for me because I went in there expecting nothing, and actually not even nothing. I expected absolute shit Like I was like, I'm gonna go in here.
It's Ant-Man. What the
shittiest
heck?
movie ever.
I love Ant-Man.
I was like,
been
what is this? Like
fun.
a movie about a dude that turns into an ant? Like this is gonna be terrible. And it was great. It was a great
Yeah,
movie.
Peyton Reed really knocked it out of the park, and so did the cast and rest of the crew. And I was far more impressed with it than I expected to be. So because I was looking
me
for an
too.
Edgar Wright's version as well, but I think he pulled off a very good Ant-Man, and I was still entertained with Ant-Man and the Wasp, even though it wasn't as good as the first one.
I agree. I was still very entertained by Ant-Man and the Wasp, but that's what happened. So they used like Pym arrows, and it turned into a giant arrow, and then it like crashed down on their car.
That was awesome.
It was like kind of really cool, actually. I really
It would have also been funnier though if he just had the red Pym arrow and he shrunk the other two in their car.
That would have been cool too. I would have
Then
liked to see it.
Now for the rest of the series, these two are ant sized and they can't go anywhere. It's like it'll take them a month to get off that bridge.
Yeah, and the other thing that I really liked about this scene was that her reactions, like, whoa, like that was so cool. Like we did something so cool. Like it was like, she's like a fan of his, and she's getting to like fight alongside like her hero, and like, finally getting to like do some of the stuff she's always dreamt of doing. And and her expressions show it. And I like that she was excited and she wasn't like so like whatever, like, I don't know. She wasn't like bitchy about everything. Like she's like, that was amazing. And like, I liked her excitement about everything. And then at the USB arrow, what am I supposed to do with this? I like that. She was like, what? Like, because you don't know. Like at this point, she has no idea. She's like, oh my God, what's going to happen with another arrow? And it's just like a USB arrow. What the hell is this? And this was funny too, because I realized that what the USB arrow was from What If, because because I hadn't seen that before.
But she hits a guy with it and it does nothing, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny when like she like it like bounced off the guy. This guy.
Yeah, with the gold gun. Yeah,
with the gold gun. Yeah, he's so gaudy. And yeah, there it is. Like he's like, what the fuck was that? Like he just like looks down. Then they do this cool hero thing where again Hawkeye is the one that's shooting the arrow, which I liked. And she grabs onto the bow, and they do this like Batman situation with the
and then the suction cup arrow to cling them to the
and
subway
this
car.
and the suction cup and the payoff, right, of understanding what the suction cup was for. And
see, you think it's silly, but it has a use.
It's practical in the superhero world. That this is what they would use to save themselves with, especially when they're not super and they don't fly, and they're humans and they need a suction arrow to be able to
stick to walls and surfaces.
Yeah, exactly. So then they got onto this train. This part of the dialogue I had a little bit of a problem with, because I was like, really? Like, again?
She's remembering the pet.
Yeah.
Not this specific one, but the next line where he's like, yeah, you were right. You are the best archer ever.
Or I think it was one of the best archers ever.
Yeah. Or is it? I don't know. I couldn't catch the line. Yeah, but he does mention that she was right about herself, and that she's right to say that she is one of the best archers in the world, or whatever.
She does have enough trophies in recognition to justify that claim, and I've seen people with less trophies make grandiose grand claims than that. But yeah,
I mean, I agree, but really, like,
it's a little too much. I think. Yeah.
Episode. It's like, okay, here's the thing: if you had just beat like the entire bad guys and everything like that, that's a line you leave for like the ending of the show, where she's finally acknowledging that, like, after all we've been through, you are one of the best archers I've ever worked with. These were just like peons that they dealt with. Yeah, we're halfway through the series. We just dealt with some peons. We haven't even met like the big baddie of the show, I don't think. And we're already complimenting each other about being best archers ever. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
It was too soon.
Too soon. They rushed a lot.
It would have been better if you said you took direction well.
Where did Clint get his bow and quiver from?
Oh, he brought it with him when he was waiting outside for the Tracksuit Mafia to pick him up, and they took his bow and quiver when they took him.
Yeah, but they still had like he brought it on vacation with him, right? I think
Yeah,
so.
I guess he brought it, or he had a locker somewhere in New York that he pulled it from, because he had that locker that he put the Ronin suit back in. So
yes,
there's a lot for us to extrapolate, and not a whole lot of information to confirm. So
I extrapolated that it was in that locker.
sure, why not?
These are the things that the show is very annoying about, like just little details, right? Like, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know at what point we become nitpicky. You know what I'm saying? And like, because there's certain things that obviously you have to just suspend your disbelief or whatever. Like, for example, with the physics of the arrow, but like where the quiver came from, I think that's a pretty legit question. Like, they should have put that, like, he is on family vacation. The Avengers are no more. He's not really on a job. So I don't really know why he would need his bow and arrow. Like maybe it's just a force of habit. Like I don't know, but we need an
I'm
explanation.
I'm gonna stand outside with my bow and arrow and quiver, and just in case the tracksuit mafia shows up, at least I've got something to help get me out of that situation after I explain to them what's going on. It would be nice if we had like a little cutscene before that where he closes a locker and has a little shield logo on it, because then you can infer from that, oh, it's a weapons stash that he has from the shield days, and they're probably all over the city just in the event of something.
Maybe this is just his version of concealed carry.
Pretty much, or basically just reveal.
Well, it would be because he doesn't use guns. Like he's a bow guy.
There you go, and it's harder. You can't put a bow and arrow in your purse.
No, and bow and arrows are far more silent than pistols. So.
Radio Man 1017 also asks, did they still have archery competitions during the blip? Because that's when she would have had to earn all of those. I would imagine so. Yeah. Because you would still have to live life, right? Like, I mean, life still goes on. So,
especially for kids, they would have wanted to keep them busy, right?
Yeah, I could see that. That's pretty normal. I think that would be happening. Because I mean, life goes on, right? So then, you're the bestest ever on the third episode, which was lame. They talk about the Steve Rogers musical thing again.
They just won't let that die.
They talk about the dog and the feeding the dog, which was kind of cute because they both thought about the dog.
But also, I was upset about that. Like, why would you just not have anybody take care of the dog?
Fucking animal abuse.
Yeah, that poor dog.
Sorry, I had to drink water.
That's okay.
That's okay. Hydrate.
Yeah, hydrate. Okay, wait, I forgot to turn on my
camera. If this actually was my favorite.
This I liked a lot too, yeah.
Scene.
How come, Teresa?
Well, if I'm correct, you paused. So when he's talking to his son on the phone and herself is helping to translate for him.
Because his hearing is still broken, yeah. So
he
can't hear anything.
I like that a lot too.
The first time that I was able to maybe perhaps want to kind of not punch her in the face. I'm warming up to her. I'm skeptical. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I thought that was very moving. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, it showed just in every fiber of his being how much he loves his family. It was such a sweet scene.
Yeah, I really like that scene as well, and I love that part where he gets choked up in the end when she's like, he's like, are you gonna be home for Christmas? And
exactly,
I think that, and that's credit to Jeremy Renner's performance, because he does really make you feel for that character, and especially if you're a parent or like, well, I'm not a parent, but I'm an aunt, and I wish I could see my nephew for Christmas, and I can't. Mm-hmm. And it's like, in a way, it kind of like really, like it really tugs at your heartstrings, right? So especially if you're a father and you can't, like, you might not be able to see your kids for Christmas. I really feel that struggle. So I like that as well. But
I got some emotion here. I'm like, I'm going to go Annie Wilkes on the writer of this if this man does not make it home for Christmas. So they did something right because they got me to care about it.
Wait, Michael Quaid says, I'm tired of hearing people talking about how they were almost in tears over the scene. It's way overhyped and not that big of a deal. Well, I wasn't almost in tears,
I didn't
but
say that.
I
yeah,
wasn't in tears either. Yeah, I just
it
thought it
was
was
I
just
thought
really
it was the
touching
most
and sweet.
moving.
but
It
it
was
was
a nice
more
scene.
moving. Like this scene was more moving because of the amount of buildup we've had because of how many movies, like how many Avenger movies and things that we've seen from, this character, compared to. When you compare the very early episode of this one where Echo's dad dies and we're supposed to feel something for that character and I felt nothing. Like I was like, I'm not feeling anything. That didn't make me feel anything even though a character was dying. This made me feel something even though nobody's dead. It's just a father not being able to see his son and his family for Christmas. It gets you going because you think to yourself, you think back of all the things that they have set up for this character, and that's why you want those kind of moments. You want those kind of moments in movies. I think that they did a better job with this and that and it's easier to do again because they've had so much build up with this character. Whereas with that one, they've had no build up. So it's harder for them to make us feel anything for that character. And it's supposed to be a bad character, whereas he's the hero. So I don't know. I don't know if we would feel the same way if this was the mob boss dad that was like, crying about how he can't make it home for Christmas. Would we?
Right.
I don't think so. What about you? What did you think of this scene, Jane?
I mean, one of my issues has been what I felt was overemphasis on his disability for virtue signaling purposes. And so while it was a sweet scene and I did enjoy it, it's hard to watch it out of this larger overarching context, which was that they couldn't just let him be Hawkeye, the hero. He had to be broken or damaged in some way and put in a category or a box or something that they could promote and virtue signal about. And I felt that's why his disability is being emphasized, and I just can't get that out of my head.
You mean you're saying with regards to him being deaf and everything like that,
Right?
Don't you think
they didn't have to make that the whole point of the show?
But isn't that kind of like his character's struggle though? Like, isn't that kind of like like Superman has kryptonite, like Batman has his struggles with fear and not letting vengeance take over him, and like everybody has a struggle, right? Like I mean, like Spider-Man has their struggle, everybody has the struggle. So what would you have rather the struggle be for this character, for Hawkeye?
They could have just left it be his family, let this family be in danger.
Okay.
If they had actually made this girl his daughter that we were talking about, that would have added a lot of weight to it and a lot more significance, and it would have had a lot of the same dynamics in terms of the relationship and the representation of fathers and all of that. I just feel like they didn't have to be so heavy-handed when it comes to his hearing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they're definitely making this hearing aid situation. They're definitely highlighting it because they're juxtaposing it also with Echo because she's the deaf girl too.
Right.
So like they're making it so that like she's way more ahead of the game with regards to her deafness because she's had to live in these two worlds. He doesn't. She knows how to sign language. He barely knows it. Like so they're definitely juxtaposing this handicap along with the other female handicap, and obviously the female one has a way better handle on it than he does.
Someone said you could suffer from arthritis. That's a good point.
Yeah. Well, I still swear though that with all these new rules, about if you want to get an Emmy, if you want to get an Oscar, you have to have so many deaf people, so many people in wheelchairs, so many lesbians, so many trans. I swear, I think that's why they're emphasizing it because they want to check the boxes for awards and for acclaim, and maybe to apologize for having a white man as the hero. It's like, well, we've made him deaf. We've made him deaf, so it's okay.
Well, he's a minority now.
Yes, he is.
Precisely.
So it's like,
But was he always that though? Like, because I don't remember him being this deaf in the Avengers movie.
No, he is all his lack of hearing is a result of all the events that he has been through over the last 15 years. So this is what they're trying to just say is that because of all, he's a normal human guy with an exceptional amount of skills. He's not in perfect, health anymore. He's got repercussions from that, which I understand that.
I don't mind that though, because I like that, because I feel like when you're talking about his character, because he's a human being, so we're not talking about like,
Steve
superhuman
Rogers.
like Steve Rogers or like the Hulk or like whoever else, like or Thor, because he's like a god. We're talking about a human being who's had to keep up with a god, like and like all these different people.
But you don't think they take the trait and just knock it into the ground? Like with Falcon, he's black, so he's super black. So this guy, he's deaf, but he's super deaf. Like it's just.
If he was
they
just
go
hard
too far.
of hearing in one ear, I think that would be something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I see your point. I exactly, Jade. I mean, that's the thing. They have to make it a big fuss.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. But at least I feel like at least it's a believable handicap, I guess. I don't know. Like for example, with Echo, and again, I don't mean to not, because I'm sorry, I don't know her character from the comics. So like this is the first time I'm seeing her. And like for example, with me, like okay, she's deaf and she's got a like prosthetic leg. Like why she has a prosthetic leg? Okay, you can be born deaf, but like what happened to her foot? Like I'm just kind of like, and she has it from from being a kid. Like so like what happened to her? I think that she's way more of a like what's the word here? That trope that you're talking about. I think it's more evident in her than it is for him personally. I think that's I'm just kind of like, okay, so she's deaf, she's got that other handicap, and she's from another minority race and everything.
They're laying it on a little thicker.
Yeah,
with the number of disabilities as opposed to Hawkeye's with a single, and then they're really hammering it down.
Yeah, not to say like being native is as a disability, but it's also like it goes on to check the check marks of minorities and disability and blah blah blah. So it's just kind of like, okay, they didn't make her a white girl, So I don't know, but I think Echo is supposed to be native though. I don't know, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so then they're talking. They figure out. I mean, he's just kind of like feeling really bad at this point that he might miss Christmas, and then they want to go and solve the earpiece issue. But then in this scene we get a conversation that happens
with Jon
between
Snow.
Yeah.
Jon Snow.
I don't want it. You're McQueen.
You know nothing.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that until you said that. He does kind of look like Kate Harington. So what did you guys think of this whole scene? Don't nobody go out all at once.
I just can't unsee it.
Look at that. It's Game of Thrones 2021.
Oh my god. You guys are hilarious. This whole scene was annoying.
Unnecessary. I didn't know the point.
McQueen. Yeah, well, I think it was trying to show that they wanted to talk about ASL or something. It's like, let's have some sign language.
They did actually bring up ASL.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It was like, in case you all haven't noticed, that's what we've been doing.
I can't unsee the Jon Snow thing now, though.
I mean, this scene was really basically him saying, listen, Ronin's gone. Why should we even bother going after kids? And she's like, stubborn. And that's supposed to be her flaw, is that she's stubborn. She's too obsessed with revenge.
She's too, yeah. And the other thing that it shows is like her ego, right? Like she's like, remind me who's in charge. Like, it's just kind of like.
Your code name's Echo, not Ego, bitch.
Yeah, no, right? It's like, just no, slow your roll, girl. Like, what the hell? But she knows she knows what she wants, and she wants Ronin. She's just like, I'm a woman that knows what she wants, and I want that guy's
Movie
balls cut
roar.
off.
Yeah, I'm a woman. Hear me sign.
I'm sorry, the chat's killing me. You guys are hilarious.
What
Listen what Vince Romick said.
Oh wow.
I'm going
That
to
is
hell for
mean.
laughing at that.
I'm not gonna read it out loud, but that's hilarious. That's it. You guys are hilarious in the chat. I love you guys. But yeah, so like that this was the whole scene, and I thought this scene was a little dragged out because it was like, you know, just say it. It literally takes 2 seconds to be like, oh yeah, like, you know, we don't need to go after these guys, blah blah blah.
Right.
So then she tells him to look into Clint Bart. Meanwhile, Clint and her are hanging out on this chick's porch because they're waiting for her to come and fix the earpiece, and she does. Like this Asian woman who's also, I mean, this was weird because I was like, why don't I just go buy a new one? Who goes and fixes an earpiece? Like, I don't get this.
Well, it depends how expensive it is. I mean, we're not talking about a battery.
Are we saying like Hawkeye
Could be
has no money?
custom.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's because it's custom. Oh, okay. Darius, that's interesting. The Echo actor has a prosthetic leg in real life. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
That's pretty interesting. Okay. I thought that was like a character trait that they're building. That's good to know. All right. So then they fix this thing. Guys, I gotta be right back. Can you just talk for a minute?
All right. So, are there any more Game of Thrones analogies we can do with the relationship between
I'm gonna pause it on Game of
the
Thrones
Night
guy.
Watch.
There you go. Here's Game of Thrones guy. Just talk
Look,
amongst
he's
yourselves.
Going loser. That's what he looks like he's doing. It's like I can.
That's a good hand signal to be paused on right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you a stupid sandwich?
Well, because I think the sign he's doing is idiots. I think that's the idiots.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's got that right up. I'm not an expert in sign language, so if I'm wrong, please correct me in the chat. But I'm fairly certain that's that is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just keep thinking McQueen, but I'm trying to think what's one of his other things. We know he knows nothing. We know. Well, man, at least he doesn't have a man bun. I mean, oh my gosh.
No, he doesn't have a man bun. I mean, I do like the fact that there is someone at least relatively intelligent within her organization trying to, you know, see the forest for the trees, so to speak.
Yeah, have an ounce of common sense.
Yes, something very valuable. Which sometimes common sense these days is a curse more than it is a virtue.
Hi, sorry, I'm back. Was it exciting while I was gone?
Oh, find out what does the chat have to say for that brief moment.
Someone says it looks more like dickhead to me. I don't know if that's like literal or figurative because I just don't know ASL. So did I say ASL? Yes.
Well, yeah, ASL is American Sign
Yeah,
Language.
okay. At first I thought it was like yes.
Because what I think is kind of a missed opportunity is they could have just had sign language as a universal across all languages, and then you'd have that one universal translatable thing. But that probably would have been too complicated to do.
Yeah, probably they focused on the ASL thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then that was a scene there. He gets his earpiece fixed. Well, he hasn't gotten it fixed yet because they go to eat.
Well, no, he gets it fixed right before they go to eat because he took it out so he doesn't have to listen to her, which I thought was funny.
Oh, that's why he took it out. Oh my god. Okay, because I was
doesn't want to eat in silence.
Oh, he didn't want to listen to her, so that's why. That's okay. That's kind of funny. I like that. And then what did they talk about here? I forget.
Him not having a costume.
Yes, which I thought was funny. And then she draws his like classic comic book costume. And he's like, I would never fucking wear that.
Well, yeah, you got his wife would divorce him, which
Yeah. And she's like, picture this in purple. And he's like, I would never wear that. My wife would divorce me. And I was like, I thought that's pretty funny because like, who would want to see a dude dressed in this kind of outfit? Not me.
I don't know, man. I've seen it. I've seen some cosplayers work. I've seen concept art for Avengers with Hawkeye, and that whole thing looked pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, the fact I don't know why they didn't go with it. Probably they just wanted to be a little different, but.
But I like his justification for it though, because he was saying like the reason that I didn't do that is because I got to be conspicuous. Like he's like
he's
a spy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he can't be wearing bright purple, running around. People will be like, "What the fuck is that guy like? What is that supposed to be like? Prince? Like like I don't know what's going on with this guy." But it makes sense if he's like a ninja. Like, well, he's like sort of like a ninja. He's like he's a bull wielding ninja. Instead of a star wielding ninja. What did you think of this scene, Jane?
I thought it was kind of hilarious. Especially, I like it whenever they do this actually in film when they make fun of the comic version.
The comic version of themselves.
Yeah. But still, I don't know. I guess it was a bonding scene to show their relationship and how it's developing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fine. I didn't have any real complaints about this one.
What about you, Teresa? You like this scene?
Same idea. I think it was maybe a little too cute, a little too fourth wall-y breaking kind of going on. But I did like the fact that he didn't want to listen to her yapping.
I like this dialogue conversation too, again, because he doesn't seem to think very highly of himself. I think one of the reasons he doesn't think highly of himself, like he says, I'm not a role model. And I think that one of the reasons that he doesn't is because of what happened with Nat. I think I think he still is like, and that's me, I guess maybe that's me just putting that on the character. But I feel like that's still weighing very heavily on him. And I think that maybe he thinks that like, the wrong person should have been sacrificed. So he thinks he's not a role model.
Yeah.
He thinks that he should have been the sacrifice.
Yeah.
But like,
well, he went
Natalie's
in such a dark
Sorry,
place.
Go ahead, Teresa.
Oh, I was just saying that during the blip when he lost his family, he was a terrible person. I mean, so he's not doing it just out of nowhere. He went to a very, very dark place in his life.
Yeah, he went to where he obsessed over his job, and he's basically like, how can half the people who are like good and pure vanish, and still these evil people still remain? That's not right. I'm going to fix that. That type of obsession. But Natalie was right. Like, if they succeed, he has a family that's going to be brought back, and now Natalie only has him, and that's not enough. Like that, she's basically just using like needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few logic there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the fact that a lot of the audience and the fans of the films at that time really felt her loss shows how good of a character she was, and how interesting the relationship she had with Clint was, and it did what it needed to do. And the Clint here has to start realizing that, if she didn't do that, I would probably never have seen my kids ever again. I wouldn't be here to see them. I wouldn't be here to miss Christmas. I wouldn't be here being able to get to know my youngest son, and all that type of stuff. Yeah.
I do want to circle back to one thing though. This idea that his time as Ronin contributes to why he has this negative perception of himself. I don't quite understand that, because I mean, these were bad guys. He was a vigilante, but he wasn't. It's not like he was in the same position as I don't know, some other characters who were actually harming innocent people, or people who weren't terrorizing their cities. I mean, these people had to go, and he did that. So that's not something I feel like he should feel bad about.
But do you think he would have done it as an Avenger?
Probably not. His ideals would have been different, but I still don't think it's wrong necessarily what he was doing.
I think
Well,
it
that's
was
the thing, though.
because-
We don't know what exactly he was doing. Like, we know that he took out like the Echo like mafia people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was a bad move because we don't know why he took them out. We don't know what he was doing really.
He should
during
be
the
a
blip.
hero for the communities. Like people should be glad he took out the trash. You know, he cleaned up. He got rid of these mobsters and stuff.
Well,
Technically,
unless
he
he was
didn't,
working
because they're
for a
still there.
rival mob, like
Yeah.
it's not like like I don't know if you know
Well,
what
they
I'm saying. Like,
regrouped afterward. I mean, that's sort of the feeling I got.
But
Yeah,
as I
yeah,
understand it, when he was Ronin and doing those things, he also crossed a lot of lines. He crossed the lines to get at the bad guys, but he still did cross some moral lines that at the end of the day, superheroes or people that are on the side of good shouldn't.
what were you gonna say, Script?
Well, it comes down to like one of the thematic elements of the Punisher as a character. Every bad guy he kills, there's another bad guy that steps in to fill the role. And the intention from Frank Castle's point of view is that he himself is going to be a deterrent. But a person with a little bit of intelligence on the criminal side of things know that the Punisher is a human being. He will, if he won't be killed by someone else, he will die eventually of old age. So he's not a real deterrent. What the real deterrent is the structure of society discouraging that action. And that's why you follow the path of the law. That's why you don't take justice into your own hands, and you don't bear the burden of an execution without a fair trial or anything of that nature. Because the other aspect being is that all the evidence might line up to that this person is guilty, but there might be that one piece of evidence that will exonerate them that comes years later. And the last thing you want to be is that person that took that man or woman's life based on everything except for that one piece. And we've seen it there's documentaries and news stories and things about people who have gotten out of jail after 20, 25 years because DNA evidence proved them innocent, or there was another person that committed the same crime somewhere else and they found out, oh no, all the positions show that this person was the real culprit, not the person we convicted. And I mean,
But if you're talking about gangs, though, they have a connected affiliation.
They do. And then if you were to wipe out all of them, you'd have anyone who was probably not in the gang but idolized them step into that role, and then it perpetuates itself.
That's true, but I don't think you would feel bad. Like
but like for the person themselves to feel bad to do that, like saying cleaning up the town, so to speak, within this like essentially a Band-Aid situation, but at least delaying the inevitable to a degree. I would say the only way a person would feel bad about that is if they have a moral code where it's like, I don't want to kill unless I absolutely, without other alternatives, have to. And
or
for the character like Ronin, it doesn't feel like that was an option for him. It was like just kill first, ask questions later type of thing.
But see, did he cross a line? See, that's the thing I want to know. Did he cross a line? Did he kill someone he found out later was innocent?
That's a good question. I would love to know that
break
story.
A person like that could make you feel this way. But if all of these guys were bad guys who were murderers themselves, I'm not gonna lose any sleep.
Okay. Well, no, I mean,
I understand
that. That's the whole debate of the whole moral issue. But it was kind of clear what happened the way they showed it in Endgame in his dialogues with Black Widow, as I recall, that you don't become the enemy. You know that you don't do the tactics of the enemy. That
Well, the thing is,
don't go so overboard to become the enemy you're fighting against. Yeah,
I think that's the moral stand, right? And I think that's the ideal. But I think as a practical matter, I wouldn't care. I would sleep well at night, knowing that I'd taken out 20 murderers.
Okay, everyone, you heard it here first.
Though, right?
Don't mess with Jane.
Yeah, don't mess with Jane. You don't want to be on Jane's bad
She
side.
will not lose any sleep.
No, she's plotting the Earth's takeover with her AI brethren already. So
the other thing,
the
other thing to consider too is that the act of killing, be it self-defense or not, is still an abuse of power. The power that you have at that moment to be able to end another life. And a superhero's code is not to abuse the power they have. That's one of the things that makes them a hero, is that they're able to restrain themselves from that. We as humans, we don't have that luxury. Like if you are being chased down by like 40 people and the only way you are making that out of alive is if you have a weapon of some sort that will sort of level the playing field. In that case, I'd be like, yeah, you're kind of unfortunately justified. It's a terrible position. And you yourself, if you have a conscience, might feel very much great deal of regret having to go to those means just because this raging mob is coming after you. But if you're like a person where it's a one-on-one battle and there's no reason why this can't be settled in other things, and then you just decide to pull a weapon and just use it on the person for no apparent reason, I mean, that's a cowardly way. That's an abuse of power. That's an abuse of the responsibility you have for that weapon.
Yes.
Those are circumstances. But for a hero themselves, like for a character, even a human character like Hawkeye, he's like, well, I abused the skills and the power and the resources I had to kill these men instead of bringing them to justice. And even if he was a hired assassin and spy for S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like that was a bureaucratic thing where it's like, okay, we've exploited all other options. But even for himself, he was tasked with killing Natasha, and he didn't. He brought her over to his side, and that seems to be what his character is like, if I can avoid killing and create a new ally, that was far more useful to my cause than the other way around.
But and that's my question here, because so Joker Voice says he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. operative and assassin. His job was to kill people before becoming an Avenger, and this is very valid to all of this as well. So I think that that's one of the things that I kind of I have a struggle with regards to this character, because I know like he was an assassin, so then
that's more
Nat
of a professional
saved
job,
him.
though. That was, I think I would distinguish the two, because that was a hired position. It was a job, and we have assassin. We have, well, maybe we don't call them assassins.
Yeah.
That's part of our political strategy and foreign policy and stuff.
With every country, yeah.
Right. But being a vigilante on your own is somewhat different, I would say.
Yeah, being one of an agency that's been charged with that responsibility, with the due diligence and the purposes of whatever, and then doing it on your own and not having any oversight, and essentially being able to be carried away with it without having a core conscience to kind of keep you on a straight and narrow path. I think that's kind of interesting as well. Again, like the Ronin story, we don't get to see a whole lot of it, so there's a great deal to be told there.
Exactly. So this is where my like kind of like a question comes in, because I'm like, okay, so you have the backstory of his being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, being an assassin, blah blah blah. Then he meets Nat. Nat is kind of saves him from that path. He changes his life around. He becomes an Avenger. He starts fighting for the greater good, and develops his friendship with Nat. She's always influencing him and his ideas, blah 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 blah. Then she dies, and then the blip happens, and then what? Like he goes back to being an assassin, Ronin. Like he goes back to being like a bad person while the blip is happening. Like I don't really quite understand.
Well, did you see? You saw it in game, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that was part of the thing. Yeah, that he was doing that after he lost his family and stuff.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. So like he basically like put all that aside though. Like that's the part that's a little bit unbelievable for me, that he would I think
losing your family could push you there.
Yeah, but like his friends sacrificed themselves so that he would have like the life to live, and like instead of like honoring that, he went and basically did exactly what she didn't want for him, like the life she didn't want for him, because she saved him from that life originally. So now I'm guessing, like, I guess maybe now it's come around when like the whole thing fixed, and now he's like feeling bad about that, maybe. Like I don't really know. This
regret.
Is all us.
He spent 5 years killing criminals when he could have probably spent 5 years trying to help people, or maybe solve this problem of the blip with his friends and Avengers, because he did disconnect himself from them.
Yeah.
Like Nat was the only one who kept tabs on him. So yeah,
and that's what I have a problem with, because I feel like we either needed to know more about him and the whole Ronin thing. I mean, what do you guys think that instead of having like the Hawkeye show, that they would have made Ronin and like, had maybe like shown us that, like that aspect of his life and what happened to him when the blip happened? Do you think that would have been a more successful show?
Well, no, I mean, that might have been interesting for sure. Yeah, why not?
I don't know. It could have worked.
It just seems like it's a bit of a jump for me that, like, that even his family dying or whatever, like getting blipped, because it's not that they were dying. It's just that like, it's that thing that happened with Thanos. Like, it's not like somebody like
They vanished.
Ronin killed them. You know, it's something that you can't really. You don't have really the power to stop. It's just
People vanished and nobody had any idea what happened to them, where they went. It's the most frightening situation one of the most frightening situations a person can be in.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, and Lauren Masters says we need more of the blip. I think that everybody kind of wanted to know more about that, and now I just feel like he's gone back to being. Now he's just blaming himself. Now he's just feeling sorry for himself. And then she's kind of like bringing him back to reality, and she's being like, okay, well, you know, maybe, and that's a feminine power, right? Like to kind of like, you know, get the dude to understand and like be more in touch with his emotions in terms of like what he does for people that he can't see, like what he's doing for her. And how he like basically gave up his family's Christmas and like, you know, all the stuff for the stranger that she is. Like he didn't really have to do that. And she was reminding him like that of his heroic side of his, you know, she's in a way, I guess maybe is she replacing Nat for him? I don't know.
Or not so much replacing, but maybe being a successor.
Right. Being like her successor. I could see that. So then she reminds him of the how she's a hero and everything like that, or he's a hero. And she's like, yeah, no, not really, but okay.
But wouldn't his wife have done this for him before now?
But his wife has disappeared.
At that point for Ronin, his wife has disappeared. For this part here, it seems like he's feeling like he's repeating a little bit of his first relationship with Natalie or Natasha. Like she was this cold-hearted assassin, and now that has to open up to him. And now he's like, I'm doing this all over again. Only I'm 20 years older, and I have a family that I care about and I'd rather be with.
And I think that's like, kind of. Sorry, go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just gonna say it's just her pointing out to him who he really is, and you know the things he's done that are positive to counterbalance the issue and concerns he has about what he did as Ronin. His wife knows about all of this, right?
Absolutely.
So I just feel like at some point they would have had this conversation around the table. It's just weird to me that it's just now coming up because of her.
I think maybe he's reconciled with it, but now he's in this position where he's got this kid who idolizes him, and all he's trying to do is say, don't idolize me.
Okay.
Because you don't know. What you think you know is not
like you don't know me.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. Because she doesn't know he was Ronin. Like, she doesn't know any of that. Like, she doesn't know his bad parts.
Is he the type of guy who's like, should I really destroy this girl's hopes and dreams by revealing the fact that I became Ronin and did all these horrible things, and the whole reason that she's in this predicament has to do to a degree with him?
Right. And I think it's a bit of what Tina says here too. By the way, hi Tina, good to see you. Says Barton also feels the need for to mentor Kate to make up for what he couldn't do for Nat, give her a normal life and a family. And I think that there's a bit of that in there as well.
Yeah, I don't dispute that at all. I think that could be a very plausible thing. Yeah, absolutely.
And so she, but I get what you're saying too, though, Jane. And I think that is something that his wife would have done for him. But I think that, like, and Script Doctor's right though, like, because now they're in this situation, right? And like this is happening. So like he's starting to kind of like he really doesn't want her to like put him on a pedestal and like, you know, think of him as the way that she is, because he just doesn't see himself like that at all.
Also, a little advice to anyone out there who has a parent that pays for your credit card: take out cash, put it in a bank account that they don't know about, and so if they cancel your credit card, you still got money.
Oh my.
Because again, if the
bad influence, Script Doctor, bad influence.
That is a terrible thing to promote, Script Doctor, but very smart at the same time.
Just saying, like, if your parents are giving you free money, they're stupid parents, so take advantage.
Take it. Yes, do that. The dog is cute. The dog.
Oh,
is
the dog's
cute.
adorable. They gave him a bath. It was wonderful.
But they left him in home all alone all day. Like,
Yeah,
who does
I mean,
that?
well, I don't think they really had a choice in that matter. Like they
They
weren't
could
tied
have
up.
dropped him off with a neighbor.
He's like, hey, can you watch my
daycare.
one-eyed dog who doesn't have a name yet?
By the way, can we talk about the fact that we have a couple of deaf people in here now and a blind dog as well?
Right, everybody, disability.
Everyone's
It's just like-
disability. They want a
Except for
doggy.
Kate Bishop.
Hawkeye turned out to be like the disability show because it was like did the dog have to be
The
blind?
woman
too?
show,
Like,
the black show, the gay show, the disability show.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Who's
That's what's
gay?
going on here.
Did I miss that?
Loki.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, excuse me? Loki was gay?
Well, he was.
Bisexual.
Yeah.
But you're
Oh,
talking about-
right.
Loki's not in this one. I thought, oh my gosh, did I miss a gay character?
Yeah,
in
but
this
that
episode?
was more like incestual because Loki made out with himself, and that was weird.
Well, that's the part that I don't understand. Was the female Loki the child of an ice king? Or was it just...
Yes,
What? Are we
I
sure?
think so.
Oh,
I don't
'cause
know.
I
Would
don't
she
know.
have to be an exact copy?
Well, I mean, if she's actually like, the daughter of Odin and Frigga, then she's not genetically not related to Loki because Loki's an adopted child. But we don't know.
But we don't know that. They never really
They
quite
did not elaborate on it. No.
They did not.
But they said that he's her. They kept saying that. They were like saying it's
Oh, I mean, he's in the same
person, it's just a
position.
different sex.
Yeah, they're in the same
And I'm like-
position and role within their respective universes. But I mean, the fact.
I
of the
mean, they
matter
had
is,
the
like,
same mom, right? Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, the same person that was in the role of their mother. Like again, it's Loki of Odenheim or Rodenheim or whatever it was, that the ice world.
The cat did it.
The
Oh my
cat
God.
did it.
Did something transform
gosh,
Nick Fury
that's
into
funny.
a dog? I mean, can you imagine? They might do that. Stop.
That would be
giving them
funny if they
ideas.
started calling him Fury the dog.
Oh my
They
God.
might, because they're trying to name him now, right?
Yeah.
So they might start calling him like Nick or Fury or something like that. I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't.
It'd be funny.
I
The
wouldn't
cat
be
took out his
surprised.
eye. The dog took his name. Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That's what I saw that as. It was like some self love, some weird. I don't know. It felt.
It was weird, but
incestual.
I think
It's
what we
still
got out
weird,
of
yeah.
it was the headline, and the headline was "Shocking Reveal: Loki's bisexual."
That was
Loki
so
turned
gender
into a bear and
fluid.
had some kids. I mean, come on.
He made out
Loki's
with a
just
girl,
weird.
but it was himself. That was so weird. Okay, so then they're walking and talking in the park. Forget about what
I'll
exactly.
do the walking, talking thing.
Now they're going to her penthouse and
This part got a little bit slow for me. I was like, okay, how are you gonna end this episode? Like it's gotta be a little
They
bit
didn't
better
know.
than they didn't know. They didn't know. So then yeah, so she starts to describe like what happened with her stepdad to him, and he's
One
just
thing
like,
I-
wait,
I don't
ahead,
want to
Jen.
complain too much about the hair because I'm so glad it's like a girly hairstyle.
Mhm.
But what is with this center part?
it looks fake.
It does. Like a wig,
It does look like a little bit like a wig, yeah.
and a bad one.
Ooh, I didn't think
I-
about that. But I'm just so happy
happens.
it's not a half head shaved
Yeah.
whatever part that is.
It's not the May I
okay
Speak
with
to Your
that.
Manager haircut.
Yeah,
But that's
it.
why I'm kind of concerned that that's where they're going because it's like the hair's weird.
Yeah, the hairline is all. It's
You think she's
frayed.
gonna have like purple hair, SJW haircut in the end of this? Oh
I
God,
hope not.
that's not gonna be cool, man. Oh my God. Okay. So then she's starting to be like, oh, I'm all sus of my stepdad. I think she killed his uncle, and now he's marrying my mom, and we got to figure that out too. And he's just
And
like,
he's just
okay,
like, no, let's just look after the guy that's the number 2 in what's her name's gang. Like that's what he's saying, and she's like, oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is my mom's password to hijack and do a background check on the guy.
Right. And then so they go there to her mom's apartment and he's all like, "What the hell? Jesus is your home?" Like cuz this place is freaking
Like a
massive.
3-story penthouse.
Yeah. And in New York. Can you imagine like
Yeah.
With 20-foot
like-
ceilings every floor.
She apparently swung off the chandelier and broke her arm, which I thought that was funny, showing that she's not she breaks things. She's not invincible apparently. So that's good. She breaks limbs.
So she's been disabled.
I didn't put two and two together, Jane, until you just said that. But hell, so she's overcome a disability before. She packed. She cracks.
Oh
now
my
she's like, by the oh no wait, she knew the password. I was gonna say because she became like a freaking genius hacking into her mom's computer, but she knew the password. But I don't know how the thing kicked her out though, because she already put in the password. So how did they know? How does the computer know that it's being hacked or whatever? Because it was like, I've been kicked out. I've been locked out of this now.
Maybe her mom was logged in at the same time, and then they got the alert. You were logged in on 2 different devices.
Yeah, I guess
He has LifeLock.
That's the only explanation. And then the other thing that I did think was a little bit weird about this scene was because you keep hearing like a little bit of like noise, like background noise around, and I'm like, okay, somebody's obviously in this apartment. And then I'm like, okay, fine. Like, Clint is deaf and he can't hear it. Okay. I buy that. But like her, like, isn't she supposed to have like ninja reflexes? Like she doesn't hear like all this like weird noise that's going around. And clearly someone was in the apartment.
I just thought it was weird to have a laptop in a closet when you have all this space in this this penthouse.
Was it in a closet? I didn't really notice.
It's in some really small like nook. It just doesn't like that.
Oh, there it is.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Next to a giant Christmas tree with like giant ornaments. Look at these ornaments.
Yeah.
Those are massive.
And you got like the stack of swords on the on the right
those are
there.
swords. And he was like, "How'd you say his uncle was killed?" And she's like, "With a sword."
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Now he's starting to put it together too. Like, yeah. And she gave me a butterscotch. Yeah, that's weird. Like I like the meta aspect of that.
So then he finally hears something, or he's just like, whatever, like walks over there. That's when she gets locked out of the account. Your account has been disabled. And she's like, "Clint, where you going? Don't move, fucker."
Really?
And it's the
it's with his own sword. Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, it's his own sword. I forgot. There he is. And then that's it. That's the episode.
Well, yeah, I guess never mind.
Yeah. The stepdad who's really the secret hero. I'm on his side. We're gonna find out the truth next
I
week.
feel like he's about to get seriously injured.
I
Someone
think
is, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get something like yeah.
He's really messing with the wrong one right now. This guy's trying to get to his kids for Christmas. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And no one who's gonna.
I know how to
stand
retract that
between
sword from here before you even realize it.
Yeah, because plot. That's a lot of this show has been because of plot. I feel like. Well,
The connective tissue is a little weak. Yeah.
So overall, what did you guys think? That was the episode. Do you think that the Kingpin is like that whole thing with the Kingpin is legit? Because a lot of people seem to think that the uncle, like this chick's uncle, is like the Kingpin. This guy. I guess
The cufflinks kind of give it away.
This is supposed to be Kingpin, I'm guessing, right?
Yep.
Cufflinks? Why does he wear special cufflinks?
He has a stack of all these nice cufflinks that he wears, but he only wears this one pair in the Daredevil show.
But do you guys think it's the same guy?
Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yeah.
I mean, there's already been rumors from Geekosity Mag and Mikey Sutton over there saying that, yeah, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, and the actor who plays the Punisher is coming back for Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the Daredevil is supposed to be in the new Spider-Man, but I didn't.
Yeah,
know
we've
that
already
they were
seen
going
leaked
to be
images
doing
of
Disney
that.
Plus
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, I didn't know that Disney Plus was gonna.
But we don't know the actual facilitation of what. Like, we know these characters are being brought into this version of the MCU, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I suspect that's going to be the case.
I gotta say, I'm a little surprised that we still haven't seen what's her face? Pew
Jessica
Pew.
Jones,
No, Pew Pew.
Captain Marvel.
Florence Pugh.
Oh,
Florence Pugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't seen her yet. I was expecting to see her by now.
Yeah, there was an interview where some journalist was asking Haley Steinfeld, the Kate Bishop character, about that, and she said she did not know anything about Florence Pugh being in the show. So she's either hiding it from, the fans, or to try not spoil it, or maybe it's another button for another series.
That's interesting. Real quick, Christine the Killer Car, thank you so much for being a member, and send a member chat saying, beautiful lady, just saying hello. Well, hello to you. Good to see you. Have you run over anybody lately, Christine the Killer Car? I hope not. I hope you have been driving, not killing people, even though you're a killer car. Thank you so much for that membership chat. But yeah, so are you guys expecting to see that dude as Kingpin? Do you think this is going to be him?
I suspect it is, but I don't know if we're going to see him in this show any more than what we already got.
Do you think? Oh, see, like if we don't see him, then like I wonder. I don't know.
Maybe an Echo show. Maybe he'll show up.
You guys think that they're gonna actually make an Echo show?
That is the scuttlebutt.
Ugh, I don't know about all that. I did hear that a rumor, well, not rumor, but the reports are that this show, Hawkeye, did not do well this week. Last week.
No,
the
it's
episode
doing Batwoman
3
numbers.
Yeah, it's apparently done like atrociously. I don't know how they get those numbers though, because I thought that Disney.
It's from Samba TV, so Samba has a sizable amount of people that are connected to through various streaming platforms through their system. So that's how they record the numbers. They're speculative numbers, unfortunately. You will never know the exact ones unless Disney themselves release them. And even then, those could be, not also the true numbers. It all depends. But according to them, as an aggregate, yeah, they're getting ratings slightly less than the debut of WandaVision. And WandaVision started off strong and then declined. And Captain and Winter Soldier was not doing too well, and Loki was doing okay and then declined. And now Hawkeye is just doing less than that. So it's kind of showing that the brand of Marvel on the Disney Plus side of things is not as strong as what they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and here's the article that kind of came out earlier this week saying that Hawkeye viewership 40% behind Loki premiere and Samba measured Disney Plus homes. The thing is that I think that Loki did a lot of damage to the Marvel cinematic universe. I think that same with What If. I think they both did a lot of damage. I think people were kind of like, "Oh, this is gross." And same with what's it called, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think it was really ham-fisted.
That was bad. Like that was like I'm surprised that one's not the lowest one. Because it was just so in your face with the political jargon. At least this is like not so political, like not so much in your face.
It's a bit more of an intimate story, yeah.
But I can see why people would be dropping off though, because they're probably thinking, like a lot of normies are probably thinking, hey man, I don't want to be preached at, so I don't think I'm gonna watch this.
Which is kind of a little bit ironic, because I would say that they're not really doing any preaching on anywhere near the level of the other shows, at least so far. We'll see what happens. There's 3 more episodes. It could still go either way at this point.
Yeah,
I think they're suffering from. Oh, sorry.
No,
go ahead. I was just gonna say, I think they're suffering from chronology. Like if this had been maybe earlier in the thing, but
like if this is the first of the series they dropped,
that it may not be doing this badly. Yeah, that you can't really say it's necessarily this particular show, because this show is coming after they blew the ending of WandaVision. They gave us that horrendous Loki. then or Falcon and Winter Soldier. I forget which came first.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier came first.
Yeah, and then they took away all of our will to live with the what if. And by this point, if there's anybody left, it's like, oh, fuck this. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Jane? What do you think of this drop?
I think, it's because it's not quite hitting with any audience. I mean, it's for traditional fans, it's pretty mediocre. And for the viewership that they are principally concerned with, it doesn't go far enough to the leftist view. So it's perfectly understandable why viewership would drop, I think.
And that is weird because we just called it like the most kind of like, well, I mean, the most handicapped show of the MCU is probably this one.
That's kind of a double entendre too.
I was trying.
This is a good one. A lot of handicapped people in the show, and yet it's being handicapped by a 40% decline in viewership because of the previous installations. So it's kind of very.
It's
very
literally
poetic.
handicapped. In like every single sense of the word that you could think of is that's Hawkeye. Now moving forward, we've got a few things to think about. So moving forward, episode 4. Are we going to see Pew Pew? How are they going to enter her, introduce her? Is Echo going to be more in the story? Because Echo is becoming a little bit more than I expected. Like I thought that they were already going to like beat her and move on because we only have 3 more episodes to go. There's not that much. So how much of a story are they going to give us here? And that's the thing that's moving forward. I imagined at first before the start, I thought they were going to kill off Hawkeye. I thought they were going to kill off Clint, but I don't see that happening. Seeing as it is a Disney Plus show and seeing it is been geared towards Christmas, I don't think they're going to kill him off now. But then again, they might. I don't know. Do you guys think that they're that sadistic?
Could go either way at this point. I hope they don't.
I don't think they'll kill him off.
Yeah, I don't think they'll kill him off either, but they might come close. I think Pew Pew might come close until they decide, okay, well, maybe we're not going to do that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to see the Kingpin? Who's going to be the big baddie in this? Is it going to be the Kingpin or is it going to be the uncle? Or not the uncle? The
stepdad.
The stepdad?
It's going to be the mama.
Killed.
I mean, the mom is going to have some issues.
The mom wasn't even in this episode.
No, she was not.
We didn't see her at all.
Not yet, but she'll probably walk from around the corner.
And be like, who are you? Why are you in my home? I am Clint. I'm babysitting your daughter.
Well, she's gonna show up now because she realized that her daughter was like hacking into her computer.
Which means that she's got some sort of like Bruce Wayne hyper tunnel to get from her office, wherever that is, back to her penthouse.
To her beautiful New York
Manhattan penthouse.
Yeah. So Jane, do you have any theories? Jane theory? Yeah, what's your theory for
in terms of where this is going? I think Echo is ultimately going to be a good guy in all of this.
I think so too.
I do agree the mother's going to be a bad guy, so will the stepfather. But who knows? It's sort of this Christmas story, so they'll probably all reconcile by the end.
Everyone's gonna get along.
Little bow. Yeah.
What about you guys? Teresa, what do you think?
I think I've already said that I think that the mother's evil. The stepdad is the real hero of the show. But I could go along with Jane. Perhaps they're going to just go for It's a Wonderful Life where they're all having fun and they all realize that we're one big blended family and that there's only one race, the human race. And God bless America. Oh, wait, they wouldn't say God bless America.
No, they wouldn't say that. Not at all.
God bless the people that breathe oxygen. You can't even say humanity, people. You can't even say people anymore.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't identify as human nowadays, so they're like bug people, I hear.
Yeah, it could be a cat.
So I was just looking up The Expanse to see when that's starting. So The Expanse is supposed to be starting this Friday. So I think that we're gonna probably jump ship. We're gonna be part of the 40%. I mean, I don't know if you guys are gonna watch this show or not, but we're probably gonna jump ship at Hawkeye here now, and go and switch over to The Expanse starting next week, for episode 1 and 2, because I think there's gonna be 2 episodes dropped. No, there's only gonna be 1. So episode 1 of the season 6 of The Expanse. I think that's what we're gonna do next week. So I'm sorry, you guys, if you're watching here for Hawkeye. Maybe we'll do like a wrap up, like a Hawkeye wrap up after the series is over. Like we'll just do like a quick wrap up of what we thought of the series. What do you guys think about that panel?
I think that'll be fine.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, just so we can wrap
I
it
still have
up.
to catch up 2 more seasons on The Expanse, so I'll be a little tight for me, but I think I can pull that off.
Okay. Well, I mean, the Expanse is not that long. And especially the last season was a shorter season, so so that I think you could probably catch up by Friday, maybe, possibly. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have like some good TV to catch up on, though, not some crap. That'll be fun for you. But yeah, so yeah, next Sunday, everybody, we're gonna be coming back here to discuss The Expanse final season, episode 1. That should be really, really fun. This is kind of like also it becomes a little bit of an anniversary because Jane and I started this show last year reviewing The Expanse season 5, and that's how we kind of like started this entertainment situation. And it just kept going, and we did different shows, and then Script Doctor and Teresa joined, and other people joined, and it was really cool. And I think I love the evolution, so I definitely want to do that. I definitely want to do this, The Expanse season 6, and that's gonna be interesting. You guys are gonna see me react a lot more to The Expanse because I was very invested in The Expanse versus. So you'll probably hear me swear a lot if they're not doing things that I would like for them to do. I might cry some. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. If we don't get any proto molecule, I'm gonna be pissed. But anyways, Jane, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me here on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
There you go. And everyone's links, including Jane's, is in the description. So make sure you are subscribed and you're following along. And before we get to Teresa, also don't forget to sign up for the Toxic Femininity Pinup Spectacular, featuring yours truly. We're gonna have a lot of really cool pictures drawn by Peter Gilmore and other artists. And it's the girls and I from the Toxic Femme, including Lorena Creole and Mandy Summers and myself. So it'll be really cool. And I got the link is in the comments and in the description. So definitely make sure you're signed up to get the bonuses and different things like that that comes along with when the release happens. So Teresa, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you can find me here on YouTube, Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. And tomorrow night I'm going to be talking with Lady Gravemaster and Steve Kenobi about the Wheel of Time, everything the Wheel of Time. Come with all your questions. Have you read the Wheel of Time? Have you not read the Wheel of Time? It doesn't matter. Watch the show not. This is your chance to ask the questions, maybe get a good introduction to it, and have some fun, perhaps. It'll be a great time. Yeah.
There you go. That should be really fun. I know Lady Gravemaster really hated the Amazon Prime version.
Yes.
Made a great video about that. So, okay. Naked Fame is saying, Teresa, when?
Oh, mea maxima culpa. It will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central on my channel. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot in there. I'm looking forward to it because we're calling it Wheel of Time for the rest of us. Is also an explanation what makes this Amazon adaptation suck. I think people need to know that.
Well, there you go, Naked Fame. So make sure you're subscribed to Teresa. And also, if you're on Twitter, follow her on Twitter where she announces where she will be tomorrow, 7 Central, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's 8 Eastern. That's 8 real time. So there you go. I used to be Central. Now I'm Eastern again. So yeah, there you go. Naked Femme says it's going to check it out. There you go. Script Doctor, my fellow Canadian script doctor. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/scriptdoctor. I'll probably be watching a lot of The Expanse this week, so I might not be too available. But you can also check me out on Twitter at scriptdoctorphd. I look forward to interacting with all of you. Yeah, I've had a blast tonight. Thanks again for inviting me on.
I always have so much fun talking nerdy stuff with you guys. Have you, by the way, Script, have you read the books, The Expanse, or just watched the shows?
My sister's fiance is a huge Expanse fan with the books and stuff. So I've watched the first 3 seasons. 4 seasons. What? I can't remember. I'll find out, tomorrow. But yeah, he's got all the books. He's like he loves a lot of them. He thinks books 6 and 7 are not as great. Is the only criticism he's ever really given negatively on that. But he's a big Expanse fan. So
Jane, did you start reading the books? Because I remember when we were talking last year, you said you were going to start reading them.
Yeah, I have. I haven't gotten too far though. Too much work.
Okay, so how far are you in terms of like the book versus series?
So where the series is?
Yeah,
nowhere near right. Nowhere near
season 1. Like, are you in season 1?
Maybe season 2.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go, folks. That was it for Hawkeye season 1, episode 3. We won't be back next week to discuss Hawkeye, but we will be back to discuss The Expanse season 6, episode 1, and that will be really fun. And so we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you, everybody, for being here, supporting the channel, all that good stuff. And as for me, you can catch me tomorrow on Midnight's Edge during the evening and during the day at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be hanging out with Az Heel versus Babyface on his channel, where we will be discussing the movie Perfect Blue, and that will be really, really fun. If you're a fan of anime and if you're a fan of especially that movie specifically, come and hang out with us on Az's channel. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, which one should we go out with? Let's go out with the slutty one.
Just wanted to start with about shipping, because I know a lot of fans were actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys make of that?
She's a slut. I was gonna say something along that line. It's complete horror. What a trick, man.